Most important concepts in structured programming. Functions help us organize and reuse code efficiently. Just like how we divide a big task into smaller, manageable parts in real life, we do the same in programming using functions. They make programs easier to understand, test, and maintain. So, what is a function? A function in C is a block of code that performs a specific task. Once a function is defined, it can be called multiple times in a program whenever that task is needed. This avoids code repetition and makes programs more modular. In simple words, a function is a set of instructions grouped together to perform a particular operation. For example, the main function in every C program is itself a function, the starting point of execution. There are two main types of functions in C: library functions, user-defined functions. Library functions are predefined in C's standard library. Examples include printf, scanf, square root, etc. These are ready-made functions that we can use directly without defining them ourselves. While user-defined functions, on the other hand, are created by the programmer to perform specific tasks. For example, we can write our own function to calculate the factorial of a number or to find the sum of two numbers. So a function in C generally has three parts: function declaration, function definition, function call. For reference, an example can be seen on the screen. So here's what happens. The declaration tells the compiler about the function name, return type, and parameters. The definition contains the actual code or logic, while call executes the function. This structure helps C programs stay organized and readable. Functions can also be classified based on whether they take arguments and whether they return a value. There are four types: functions with no arguments and no return value. For example, a simple function that just prints a message. Then, next, function with arguments but no return value. For example, a function that takes two numbers and prints their sum. Then, functions with no arguments but with a return value. These are functions that read and return a user's input. Last, function with arguments and a return value. Examples include a function that takes two numbers and returns their product. This flexibility allows us to design functions exactly as we need them for a specific task. Using functions provides many advantages. Modularity. We can divide a big program into smaller parts. Reusability. Once a function is written, it can be reused anywhere in the program. Readability. Code becomes easier to understand and debug. Maintenance. Changes in one function do not affect the others. And lastly, teamwork. Different people can work on different functions in large projects. So, to summarize, a function in C is a reusable block of code that performs a specific task. There are two types: library functions and user-defined functions. Functions have three key components: declaration, definition, and call, and can be designed with or without arguments and return values. Functions make programming in C structured, organized, and efficient. In short, they are the building blocks of every C program.